Good afternoon, everybody. I just got to where I want to camp, and it's a new spot from before. It's still pretty close to the road, but with it raining and whatnot, and it promising even heavier rain pretty soon, I kind of want to just get my shelter up. But I'm going to set it up in this stand of trees here. Got to clear out the spot I've chosen. And I'll show you that in a second, but here I am. We'll get started. Okay, so here's the area that I cleared out to set up my shelter. I'm going to use that tree and that tree to hold up the front of my tarp. I'll be facing out towards the water, because that's what I wanted. And my back to the road. There was a rotten log just right smack down the middle of where I was going to build my shelter. So I used a camp shovel to kind of dig that out, and then filled in all of the whole trench that it had made with dirt and pine needles and stuff. At first I was going to rake all this away, but I decided to keep it because it's nice and soft. And it's a couple inches thick, actually, to give me more cushion and to hopefully kind of insulate me more. I am going to be laying a tarp over it, but I'll show you that when it gets to that point. So I'll get started on actually setting up my shelter now. First steps here, I wrapped paracord with a bowline knot around a tree. I put a little bit of loop of the paracord through it so I could slide a toggle in and cinch it down, and then I put the other end, which also has a bowline knot in it, through the grommet, one of the grommets near the middle, and then I did the same thing over on this other tree with this other grommet. So this is what I have right now. Obviously that will not suffice. My next step is to stake down each of the corners and pull it back, and then I'll figure out exactly what the best spot to do these corners is, and my shelter will be up. Alright, I've got the outside of my shelter fully set up. What I did was I took that loose end after I got, it staked down where I wanted it and everything, and got it as tight as I wanted it. I just wrapped the loose end here around the tree a couple of times and around itself and cinched it down. And then it came out just perfectly that I could actually put that other bowline around the toggle with that loop that's going through this bowline. So it's all pretty secure. If it gets windy at all it's going to do is stretch the paracord out and pull it tighter on itself. So I'm good on that. And then I basically did the same thing on this side, and just wrapped it around a few times and wrapped it however I needed to make it exactly the right length that I could just kind of slip it over the end of this toggle. So I've got the same thing here. One bowline from that loose end on this toggle, on this end of the toggle, and then the loop through this end of the toggle. And it's all held up and ready to go. Now I just got to go get my other tarp, lay it down under the shelter so that it's nice and dry for me. And oh, got a visitor already. I'm popular. So yeah, I'll go get the other tarp, get that set up in there, and start getting my stuff laid out in there. I'll show you what I did with my floor tarp. I folded it up so that it fit inside, because what you don't want in a rainy, inclement weather situation is you don't want the tarp that you're going to be laying on poking out the sides of the tarp that is covering you. Because then what's going to happen is the rain's going to pool up on the outside, and it's going to go right under the edge of your shelter and all over you. So you got to fold it up so that it fits inside your shelter. However, you don't want to fold it over itself, because let's say, well, I guess it could happen either way, but I prefer to fold it under itself, because I feel like that gives the rain an easier path down if it does come in the sides. Another thing I did is that I made it a little bit longer than the shelter is wide, and put it up against the walls. That way, if it rains really hard and the rain starts coming in the side of the shelter, it'll go underneath my floor tarp, and I'm less likely to get that wet. Another thing to consider is how far in from the edge of your shelter to put the floor tarp. I guess that really depends on the predicted angle of the rain, which here seems to just be falling straight down. And to be honest, I've got a lot of coverage from the trees to stop angular rain and get it so that it's just dropping off the branches and the leaves. But I would say put it in 3-4 inches. I'm actually going to pull mine in a little bit farther since I have some room down there in the back to set it up. But yeah, just consider all of that. Consider the best way for you that you think will keep you dry in the night. So I'm going to finish setting that up and start getting my stuff into my shelter. Well, I've mostly gotten settled inside my tent, my shelter. Had a bit of a snack, just a beef stick and a granola bar, but, you know, it's food. I'm going to wait a little bit to set up my sleeping bag and stuff, but I got my pack, I got my camp stool, and my pad and sleeping bag, but a couple more things I got to get out of the car, but for now, I'm set to just hang out. I was debating whether or not to try to start a fire, which I learned a good way to start fire with wet wood, so that's not really a problem, I don't think, assuming I can get it done. But it's actively raining, and it's only supposed to get worse, so I'm probably just going to hold off on that and have food I don't have to cook. I was smart enough to grab a couple of things from the store on my way out here. And, yeah, I have a bunch of granola bars, I've got apples, I've got bananas, I've got, you know, just some little things that I can just eat to not be hungry until I can get a fire started. Hopefully, sometime tomorrow I can get one going and make myself some hot dogs or stew or something. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But, I'll try to think of something else to do to record and show you guys tonight. And then after that it'll be bedtime and good day. I love it out here. Just look at this view. Yes. It's amazing. Since I'm sitting here doing nothing, I realize I should probably do kind of an introduction. Considering this is my first video, I want to talk about what I intend to do with this channel, my purpose in doing all of this. So I was recently confronted with the fact that I really didn't have a hobby. I needed, you know, I was asked what I do to de-stress, what I do to, you know, have fun and take care of myself, and I didn't really have an answer. I mean, I enjoy reading, I enjoy playing some games on my phone, whatever, but that's not really as potent of an activity for what I was trying to get at. So I was hanging out with a friend, and he was watching some bushcraft videos on YouTube, and I was like, man, I haven't been camping in ages. And so we were like, well, shoot, let's go camping this weekend. So we went camping, and that's when it hit me. that's what I'm going to do to de-stress. That's going to be my thing. And so I've been doing that a lot, going out camping and, you know, making time to be out here to clear my own head and to just get a break from the world, from work, from people. There was nobody out here today. Anyway, so, you know, we started doing this more, and I started watching more and more videos, and sorry if I keep looking away. There's a swarm of, it looks like mosquitoes, and I'm kind of watching them, hoping they don't get closer. Anyway, so about the second or third time out here camping, we were just hanging out. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that too. I'm going to make some videos. And the whole point of it, the whole reason for it is I'm hoping I can maybe inspire someone else to kind of do the same thing, or even if it's not this, you know, somebody sees this and hears what I'm talking about. I would hope to get the message into somebody or through to somebody that, you know, you've got to make time for yourself. Pretty much all of us have busy lives, and everything going on right now with COVID and all that is just, it's nuts. The world's going crazy, and sometimes you just gotta take a break. And despite how busy you are, despite all of your responsibilities, you cannot handle those responsibilities if you aren't taking care of your own mental state. And that is a very powerful message that I recently had pounded into my head, essentially. And so here I am. And I'm hoping I can inspire some people to do the same with whatever your interest is. As for me, the interest is going to lie primarily in camping and bushcraft. How to make the most out of having very little in your camping experience. You know, just a couple of tarps and a couple of sticks, and you have a shelter. How to start a fire in wet weather conditions. All this wood is soaking wet, but I intend to start a fire as soon as I'm done with this video. But, and I'll show you how to do that. But, I also intend to eventually get more into the photography integrated into this as well, because I love to take pictures. I love getting that perfect shot. There's just something about it that you're just so satisfying. And as you can probably guess, based on where I'm at right now and how passionate I am about this, my favorite things to photograph are in nature. You know, if I see a random animal going by, you know, there's lizards, lots of lizards out here. But, you know, I will stop and I will try to get a picture of it. And what I intend to do is maybe include a slideshow at the end of my videos showing some of the pictures that I took of, you know, my time out in the woods. And then I also want to get into the details of how to get those shots, including how to use your camera's settings to get the best lighting, to get the best shot, but also, you know, the crazy things photographers will do to get the perfect angle and to get the perfect distance. Because, you know, one big thing is you want to use as much natural manipulation of the scenario as you can, and then use the features of the camera to augment that and to make it better. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'd like to get a better camera. before I start getting into the details of camera features. But, you know, I'll work with what I got, because that's a big part of my shtick here, too, is working with, you know, the less expensive items and, you know, how to compensate for not having the better stuff. Of course, if you can get a hold of it, get a hold of it. But, you know what I'm saying. And then, you know, the overall message, I guess, is to get out there, have fun. You know, do something to keep yourself centered. I'm pretty sure I already said that, but pretty soon here I'm gonna clear out a spot right in front of my shelter, and I'm gonna get the stuff together to try to make a fire and see if I can do it. I've never tried this particular method of starting a fire before, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. So let me get to it. All right, so first step down. I dug out a fire pit using the camp shovel. It doesn't need to be that big. I'm not going to use up all of that space, I don't think. But I'm going to keep the fire kind of small, because I had to make it a little bit closer to my shelter than I would have liked, although it is far enough away that it shouldn't be a danger or any kind of problem. And then, of course, I cleared out an area around it, despite the fact that everything's wet and nothing's going to catch fire unless I work for it to anyway. Next step is to collect a whole bunch of sticks, ranging in size from really, really thin like that to thicker like that log over there. So I'll get all that together. I'm going to need a lot of it, and move on from there. Alright, so I've got part of the next step done. I'm going to get it started and look for more wood while the first bit dries off. But so what I've done is I've taken some smaller, you know, right around thumb size pieces and laid them out on the bottom to create kind of a base. And then I took a bunch of much smaller twigs, you know, much smaller, and I made kind of a upside down V right here. And then I have a pile here ready to put over the top when it comes to that spot. So the next step is to get my fire starter ready, and I'll show that to you and explain that to you when I get it done. So what I have here is my fire starter. This is 3 strips of duct tape, each about the length from my fingertip to my elbow, that I've rolled up into little tubes. What I'm going to do is light the ends of both ends of each tube and set them right here in the middle on top of my thumb-sized pieces. And then when they're burning solidly, well, actually before that even, but when they start burning, I will lay this pile of thinner sticks over it. And what's going to happen is this is going to burn really hot, particularly in the center of the little triangle I'm going to make. And what that's going to do is it's going to simultaneously dry out the wood and hopefully get it started, and create a hot center to the fire, which will get hot burning coals to, it'll create those coals hopefully faster, and help dry out the other wood more. And then as the wood dries out and burns, you add more small things on top of it, and then progressively, as the fire gets hotter and bigger, you can start adding thicker wood onto it, and just keep the cycle going, you know. As the stuff you already have on there burns, you put a little bit more on, so it can start drying, and by the time the other stuff is kind of burnt down, the other stuff the newer wood that you put on will be dry enough to actually be burning. And you just keep that going for as long as you want your fire to last, or as big as you want your fire to get. So I'm gonna get this started, hopefully, and hopefully have a fire going, because I'd actually like to cook something. I'm actually hungrier than I expected to be. Anyway, I'm gonna give this a shot. Alright, so I've got the duct tape burning, and you can see it's already starting to catch some of the small twigs I put on top. Once those are burning, which hopefully the duct tape lasts long enough to do, I'll add more to it. Yeah. So, I'll keep you updated. Had to do the duct tape again, because exactly what I was afraid of happening happened, and the other duct tape burnt out before the wood actually fully caught. But hopefully this time I'll have better luck. And if not, I think I'm going to prep another few rolls, just to make sure. Well, there it is. That second round of duct tape worked pretty well. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is that, yes, you want to get progressively larger with your sticks, but you want to do it kind of slowly so you don't try to put too big of sticks on too soon and have them not dry out and whatnot. And as you're going, you're also going to want to put on smaller twigs and stuff, so that they keep catching on fire and they keep burning as you're waiting for your larger sticks to dry. So I'm going to let that go for a little bit, adding to it as I go. And actually it's time to add a little bit more, to be honest. But I know the fire looks like it's really high as it is, but it's just really, really hot in the center, which is exactly what you want. So I'm going to put some bigger pieces on it and keep stacking smaller pieces on top of and around them to keep the whole thing going. And then I think I'll roast some hot dogs. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. Well, it started raining again with a semi-fair amount of gusto. I'm just hoping that it doesn't completely obliterate my fire before I get the chance to cook something. Which I actually think I'll just get started now, and hopefully it'll last long enough to get it done. Yeah. Well, I found a creepy claw-looking piece of wood. And here's my philosophy on that. That's straight to the fire. Yeah. Yeah, straight to the fire. Let's actually kind of relocate that. Yeah. Another beautiful morning. It rained like crazy last night, so I'm going to have to restart my whole fire, but that's alright. Get that going. Maybe make some oatmeal or something. Yeah. Good morning. Well, I was expecting a bunch of cloudy, rainy nastiness all day, and I haven't actually checked the forecast for today yet. But the sun came out, and it's warm, and all the clouds have mostly burnt off, and it is looking like a beautiful day out here today. And once again, I didn't bring my shorts to go swimming. It's very unfortunate. But, I don't know. I'll see what happens. I might be able to convince a friend to come out and bring them. But we'll see. If not, that's life. So, I just wanted to touch base and say, It's a gorgeous day, and let's see what mischief I can get into. Alright, well, I've got my oatmeal on there cooking for really more of a lunch than a breakfast, but took me a while to get the fire good and hot and the coals all banked up. But I've noticed a little bit of a sag in my tarp situation, so I'm going to try something out to kind of fix that. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you what I did, and let you know if it works. Alright, well, it seemed to work out fairly well. All I did was took another piece of paracord that has a bowline knot in each end. I put it through the grommet, put a little wooden toggle in there on each of these holes, and then I just pulled it back and staked it down back here. Another perk that is there for it is that gap down there is going to allow some of the smoke that keeps pouring into my shelter come back out the backside. So maybe it'll be a little bit more airy and a little more, I don't know, probably cooler and easier to breathe inside my shelter. I just got to be careful if it starts to rain again, which I don't know if it will, to be honest. I still got to check the forecast, but if it starts to rain, I'm going to have to pull that back up. But should be all right. Oh, let's check out how much space there is now on the inside. Look at that. Looks pretty good. I think I need to get something on that other grommet back there, though, because it's kind of sagging on that corner. I'll see what happens. All right, finished my brunch, I guess, and I'm about to test out a purchase that I made yesterday. I know I said I'd be demonstrating how to do things on the cheap, but you know what, like I said, if you can get it, get it. So yesterday I got a Life Straw, I don't know if you can see the words, anyway, a Life Straw filter bottle. Basically, you're supposed to be able to take it to a lake or river or whatever, fill it with water, and the big straw thing on the inside is supposed to filter out all the bad stuff. So I'm gonna give it a test run and see how well it works, and see what it tastes like, because it doesn't make any guarantees on, you know, whether it tastes good or not. I'll let you know. Well, I was gonna test it out right here, but doing a test run, I don't know if I want to use the nastiest water I could find. So that water is pretty bad. But I know a spot a little bit upriver where it's a little bit cleaner. So I'll go try up there, fill up my bottle, and again, let you know. Alright, well, as you can see, the water looks quite a bit cleaner and clearer in this section. This is actually where I've gone camping the last couple of times, just right up there. So yeah, let me get this water bottle filled up. I need extra hands. Is there like any surgery I can get or something that I can, you know, get an extra couple of fully functional arms? I mean, I know it would be an adjustment, all that, and I'd probably go crazy, but shoot, I'll deal with it. Alright. So, I have filled the bottle most of the way up, and I wanted to record myself actually filling it up with lake water, so you weren't like, oh, this guy's full of crap, he's BSing us, he didn't actually do it, he's a chicken, it's good. Anyway, so Got the water bottle together, and it's time for the ultimate test. Alright, I just cut it off there to switch the perspective so you can watch me. But I'm going to walk back to camp while I do this. Good Lord, that thing is hard to push out. Alright. Well, let's try it out. Alright. Does not taste like lake water. So, although I don't know if it filtered out all the dirt. Then again, that could just be from my oatmeal. Got quite a bit of stuff in my oatmeal while I was cooking it. Took forever to cook. That little grill thing was a bit too high up from the fire, so I kept having to build the fire up under it, which resulted in getting more ash and flakes of like bark and stuff in my oatmeal. But extra nutrients, right? To lake water. Works pretty darn good. Tastes better than a lot of the water that you get from the tap, especially in cities and stuff, you know. So good investment. Good $40 for a water bottle investment. But you know, kind of on a whim went, you know what? Screw it. I'm getting it. So, alright, well, just so you know, Life Straw water bottle, good. Alright, so, my original plan for this camping trip was to hike out into the woods and find a spot as if I was stranded in the woods and all that, to show you what to do, what to look for. But when I found this spot, even though I'm right next to my car and all that, and it's a little bit lame, I decided to stay in this in the spot that I found yesterday when I first got here. However, while I am still not going to hike out into the woods, I just found this spot. Holy cow! Well, look at this. This is awesome. And I wish I had gone this far down the path last night when I first got here. Because, look, like, seriously, my car's right there. I'm pretty sure you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. So anyway, I found this spot. And it looks amazing. And I think I'm going to relocate my camp to this area. There's a little access road right here. So, yeah, I might relocate everything over here. Heck, I can just walk with it. But I am going to move my car first. Bring it on over here. Probably park it right there in front of the entrance. Well, maybe back here so it's more hidden. I don't know. Anyway, whoops. Yeah, we'll move my stuff over here. Set up camp here. Show you the camp when I have it all set up. Because one other thing is, I really want to go swimming. So, that area down there is not as private as, boom, this right here. So if I camp right there, move my stuff over, around here people tend to kind of, you know, they see a car where somebody's camping, they kind of stay away from it. So what I'm considering doing is moving it all over here, so hopefully nobody comes over here, and I'm going to go swimming. And that's just how it's going to be. I'm going to swim, nobody's going to bother me. Not that I have to worry about that, because I haven't seen anybody near this area the entire time I've been here, and I've been here almost 22 hours. So, yeah, I think I'm good.